One of the longest running rivalries in college football in the South gets its 92nd iteration today as the Sewanee Tigers climb down the mountain and into the Bluff City to take on the Rhodes College Lynx. All the way back to 1899 when these two teams first matched up. 125 years later, we find ourselves at Crane Field with the all-time series tied, 44-3. The Oracle Cup is on the line. The trophy introduced in 1954 that these two teams have played. The Lynx won 4 in a row since 2019, but last year Sewanee reclaimed it to tie the series. So today, the ultimate bragging rights are on the line. Hi, everybody. Alongside Tyler Springs, I'm Steven Swoner. Welcome to Crane Field on a overcast afternoon here on Saturday in Memphis. Tyler, you and I, you're an alum. I'm a student. We've both been close to this rivalry for a couple of years. But for those who haven't been so close, who haven't had the pleasure of knowing this rivalry, how would you describe it to those fans?
I would say it's a bit like a mullet, Steven. It's respectful up front, but it is a little ugly in the back, for being honest. These two teams do not like each other. I think that's partly why they put the two schools so far apart. And it has been Rhodes dominating that football series, both overall and since the Oracle Cup was introduced. But as we mentioned last year, it went Sewanee's way, and this season so far, Sewanee 2 wins, Rhodes 1 win. Obviously, you toss the records aside when you go into a game like this, but don't think for a minute that Sewanee isn't taking note of the fact that that trophy is sitting right over there in the corner. They want to go and grab it and keep it on the mountain.
Absolutely. They lay claim to it for now, but the Lynx trying to change that today. Now let's get particular about these two offenses, and at the quarterback position, starting with Sewanee, Jacorin Thomas and Cam Beasley. We didn't see action from Jacorin Thomas in the warm-ups pregame. He might be questionable for the game. Tyler, what happens if that's the case?
I think that's a pretty big deal. Over the course of their quarterback room, they have lots of depth, Sewanee does. They recruit athletes well to that position, and I think Cam Beasley is well-equipped to replace him. But Thomas is their foremost run threat, has been pretty careful with the football this season, only 1 interception, even though he's got 1 touchdown as well. But he has run this season for 369 yards and 2 touchdowns, his longest being a 51-yarder. He is a home run threat with his legs, and I think that's the biggest thing you lose when you go to Cam Beasley. Not that Beasley can't run himself. The stats have borne that out, but you may see also multiple options there depending on how Beasley goes. You may see a little bit of Cade Smith behind him depending on what things are going well and not for Andy McCollum's side.
Now for the home squad, the Lynx have had a journey at the quarterback position. Evan Reeder tore his ACL. He's out for the season. Taylor Haas went in. He hurt his thumb a couple of weeks ago and gets Millsaps, and we've seen Brennan Kine play a couple of snaps. But Taylor Haas says that he's about 90% ready, and he will start today. Tyler, what do you want to see from him?
I think you got to see somebody who's throwing the football efficiently. The accuracy, I think, is going to be very, very critical, especially because Rhodes has typically run the ball pretty well this season. The throwing has been less consistent, but if he can put the ball on the money to guys like Austin Smith and Trey Hampton and even tight end Clayton Gaiman, they should have more success.
Yeah, and defensively, Tyler, the Rhodes defense really struggled against Trinity. A 63-0 loss. Can't get much worse. Tyler, what do you want to see from the defense today?
2 things. 1, stop the run, sell out. If you have to put 9 guys in the box, do it. But the second one being, do not allow Sewanee to get into the red zone. In both of their wins this year, they have gone with 2 or more red zone touchdowns. It's critical to keep them out of the red area.
And we are underway. Will Simpson sends it deep, and it'll bounce into the end zone for a touchback to get us underway. A 73-degree cloudy day here in Memphis. 10-mile-an-hour winds from the east to the west, bringing the temperature down a little bit to about 68 degrees.
And we are going to get gusts up to 21 miles an hour, which may mess with these 2 kickers.
So Taylor Haas, as mentioned, his thumb is healthy, but he said about 90%, and that was from the horse's mouth himself. And the Lynx will set up shop after the touchback at the 25-yard line. Moving left to right on your screen.
Best thrower of the football on the team. Good to see him back in action.
Haas, a junior out of Innsworth High School, Nashville, Tennessee. Hampton's in motion across. Robert Daniel gets the handoff up the middle. He makes a cut and is dragged down after a gain of about 3.
That's Isaiah Copeland on the tackle. Junior out of Jefferson, Georgia, one of their leading stoppers in the linebacker spot, his 27th stop of the year.
So the 92nd matchup between these two teams is underway. The Sewanee Tigers on defense to start, wearing all white helmets, white jerseys, white pants, and white cleats. Purple lettering all across. The Lynx in their black jerseys, black pants, and white helmets with a black script R on the cap. Haas takes a snap from the shotgun. Sweep play to the left. Robert Daniel made a cut up the middle. He's dragging defenders just short of a first down. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Jaden Ganegi, the one who eventually able to wrestle Daniel to the turf, but Daniel made something out of nothing there. He had contact on him in the backfield just after getting the football.
3rd and 1. It'll be interesting to see what the offensive coordinator, Coach Kalb, draws up on these 3rd down plays, and already they're getting tricky with it. Quarterback Taylor Haas out to the bottom of your screen and a wide receiver set. Robert Daniel is in to take the snap out of the Wildcat. He moves ahead, pushing the pile. He gets forward for about 2 yards and a first down.
I like the use of a Wildcat there for Robbie Daniel. You know who your best runner of the football is. You set him deep in the backfield to give him vision to see a lane, and he gets enough.
Tejio Knox went in on that play, the former fullback, back in his element in the backfield, throwing a block. So 3 plays and a first down for Rhodes College as they break the huddle. Austin Smith split out to the bottom of your screen and Trey Hampton at the top. Those 2 slot receivers right now playing on the outside. Haas hands it up the middle once again. Robert Daniel, 4 in a row on the ground, and he's got some space down the left side. First down and more for Robert Daniel. He's dragged down on the left side by John Wolfenbarger.
It's a flag behind the play that may ultimately harm the Lynx gain.
Now this is something neither team can afford today, are these penalties. As you mentioned, 1 and 5 Lynx, 2 and 4 Sewanee. Neither of them feel like they've put their best foot forward.
And that feels like you undercut a great block on the outside from Trey Hampton, unfortunately. But this Lynx team, not a heavily penalized unit. You know, less than 4 penalties a game this year. So shocking to see one there on their first big play ripped off.
And off to a really solid start, but right there, 1 step forward and 2 steps back. 1st and 20. Trey Hampton motions inside. It'll be right up the middle again to Robert Daniel. This time he's going backwards. It'll be a loss of 1 for the Lynx, setting up 2nd and 21.
And that play got congested almost immediately because Jacob Ewan, the Rhodes center, got pushed back on penetration from that Sewanee front and kind of muddied the line there for Robbie Daniel.
Interesting that we haven't seen Taylor Haas attempt to pass yet. We know he is such an accurate thrower of the football, but you got to think eventually Coach Kalb is trying to lull them to sleep to take a shot downfield. Lynx spread them out. Twins on either side. Daniel in the backfield. Taylor Haas will throw now. Steps up into the pocket, but he is sacked. The helmet comes off, and there's going to be a flag on that play. Potentially a face mask or hands to the face against the Sewanee defense.
They brought the blitz on that one as Ballant Rendesi came off the edge. He's their leading tackler. And I think the Lynx are going to get the benefit there on the face mask.
So that will offset the penalty they themselves committed. And it'll even give them an automatic first down.
Yeah, that is a huge foul on Sewanee when they had the Lynx dead to rights there, way south of the markers.
The all-time series for the Oracle Cup, which was introduced in 1954, is in Rhodes' favor, 39-30-1. But, of course, the all-time series tied with 44 wins apiece and 3 ties. The Cup is currently owned by the Sewanee Tigers over on their sideline in the east end zone. So a first down for the Lynx after the face mask penalty. Taylor Haas has still yet to attempt to pass. Robert Daniel in the shotgun. Play fake. Taylor Haas to throw. Looking one way, now goes there. 2 receivers in the same spot, and neither can come away. I think those receivers had their routes wrong.
I can only assume you're right, Stephen, because typically you're not going to get your 2 most veteran targets running into each other in the middle of the field. It makes it much easier to cover, but also there's congestion, and you have to wonder who wants to catch the football or who thinks they're, entitled to the football in that play. Lucky they didn't collide. Got to have better communication, especially from your most experienced guys.
So 2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass. Taylor Haas. Hands on the sweep play to the right. Robert Daniel cuts up the middle. He's dragging a tackler. Gain about 3.
Ganegi again on the bring down, but I want to give a little bit of credit to that Rhodes offensive front. I think that was Isaac Dahan who actually set the edge and gave Daniel room to cut it up.
Darrell Walker, Willem Griego, and Austin Smith are the receivers in on the package. There's also a tight end in Clayton Gaiman. Griego and Gaiman to the right of the formation. Smith and a Walker to the left. Robert Daniel in the sidecar of Taylor Haas. 3rd down and 7 yards to go. Haas to throw. Screen pass. They've got Gaiman open over the middle. He bulldozes over a couple of Tigers, still fighting into Sewanee territory, down to the 44-yard line, and a 1st down for the Lynx.
That is massive and exactly what you want to see. Little pop pass to the tight end. He was hot with the blitz coming in Haas's face, and Haas found him. And not only that, Gaiman, knowing there's nobody at the second level, kept fighting for extra yardage.
Gaiman, a 6'3", 214-pound junior out of New Orleans, has been such a pleasure to watch here in his junior season. Trey Hampton checks into the slot for Austin Smith as he and Gaiman flip sides of the formation. Haas takes the snap, play fake. He's going to boot out to the right. Flip it to Gaiman again. Why not feed the hot hand? He's going to lower his shoulder again. This time he gains about 5 on the play. Good positive yardage on 1st down.
And a good job by Taylor Haas allowing the pressure to come a little bit closer to him before getting the football to Gaiman. This is the most tight end usage we've seen in some time for this Rhodes College team, and I love it the way Gaiman can make some plays in the open field.
So here's something to watch. Taylor Haas has checked out of the game. The freshman Brennan Kime has entered. Kime will take the snap. He will keep it himself. Quarterback sweep directly to the left. He's going to pick up close to a 1st down. Let's see where they mark it. They do give him the 1st down. How about Brennan Kime on the carry?
I love that for the freshman. Show off your athletic ability. Give him a simple call, 2nd and short in positive territory. That makes it easy for Kime to get comfortable.
Kime, a 6'2", 200-pound quarterback. Not afraid to lower the shoulder. Lynx taking their time on this opening drive. Clock ticking down below 10 minutes in the 1st quarter. 9:38 to play. Kime in the shotgun. Robert Daniel in the pistol. Motion from Trey Hampton. It's right up the middle. Robert Daniel, nowhere to go. Matter of fact, he'll lose about 2.
Just no room to operate that time. That Sewanee front has gotten penetration on a high percentage of the run plays so far.
Yeah, credit Jaden Ganegi and Max Grumbles in on the tackle.
Max Grumbles feels like he's been at Sewanee for about a century, maybe since the first game in this rivalry. He was a great receiving option as a tight end as a freshman and has since become, not unlike Tajio Knox, a very strong stalwart on the defensive line.
Football in the dead middle of the field at the Sewanee 41-yard line. Keem takes the snap. Quarterback sweep again off the right side. He breaks a tackle, lunging forward. A couple of yards shy of the 1st down.
And that's a terrific effort by Brennan Kime because he could have been wrapped up short of that marker, I would say a lot shorter of that marker by Brody Sanderson. But after Sanderson tried to ankle tackle him, he dove forward for another 3 or 4 yards.
So Lynx break the huddle. Clayton Gaiman on the left side at the tight end position, hugging the line of scrimmage. Kime will take the snap. He's going to set to throw. He'll flip it to Gaiman. Incomplete. Batted away. That time, Malcolm Shaw getting a hand in there, break up the pass.
And you know this game means a little bit more for Malcolm Shaw. He's an MUS Owl grad and playing in front of a lot of folks very familiar with his game as a veteran in that defensive backfield. It means something to get stops for him.
Lynx deciding that this is 4-down territory. The 28-yard line, 4th down and 4 yards to go. Taylor Haas is back in the game for Brennan Kime. Press coverage on either receiver at the top and bottom of your screen. Taylor Haas will throw. Looking left, throws left, batted away. John Wolfenbarger again breaking up that pass, and it'll be a turnover on downs.
And they missed John Wolfenbarger and Brody Sanderson last week in the